Hi, this is Brandon from Watches on You, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very special watch. We're here at Wixon Jewelers in Minneapolis, Minnesota, taking a look at the Parmigiani Fleurier Bugatti Aerolithe. This is a very interesting watch in that it has a lot of history behind it. So, this watch was inspired by the 1935 Bugatti Aerolithe show car that I will leave links to in the description if you want to learn more about that car, but the majority of the design of this watch was just the teardrop shaped lugs and everything came from that car. It's an extremely famous car. Many of you I'm sure will recognize it as it is one of the most famous and iconic Bugattis of all time. Another interesting thing about this watch is that on the inside of the chapter ring, the stats of the Bugatti Veyron are there. So you can see the 0 to 60 time, and it tells you the time it took the Bugatti to get to various different speeds around the actual chapter ring, and it corresponds to how far the second hand would move around on the chronograph. So it's actually, there was a lot of thought that went into this watch when they were producing that feature there. So another interesting thing about this watch is that it has a double tachometer where it reads in kilometers an hour and miles per hour, and this is just kind of an interesting feature if you're trying to convert, I guess, between units, or I guess, I don't know, I don't think it's a mass market appeal by Parmigiani to appeal to both Europeans and Americans, but it's just kind of an interesting little detail of this watch. So another very interesting thing about this watch is that it is a flyback chronograph, and we've featured a few flyback chronographs, one of the most, namely the Breguet Type 20, that was one that we featured. We also featured a IWC Da Vinci, which was a flyback chronograph, and I think that it's just a very useful feature, I guess, for motorsport and everything. I mean, not too many people are going to be breaking out their chronographs in the middle of a car race, but it's just a very interesting complication with a lot of history behind it. So in order to start the chronograph, it's actually reversed because the crown and then the chronograph pushers are on the opposite side. So you press the bottom pusher to start the chronograph, as I did just then, and to stop it you do the same thing, but I'll keep it going. And to do the flyback, then you hit the top and it just flies back, but the chronograph keeps going from 0, and you can find split times using this. It's useful for racing. And then to reset, you stop the chronograph and then hit the top pusher again, and it resets to 0 without moving the chronograph. This watch is really interesting, and it's actually a very wearable watch. It's only a 41mm watch. It's completely made of titanium, so it's super light, and that plays into the whole motorsport theme of the watch. It has a 50-hour power reserve, which is, I mean, extremely, extremely nice, because a lot of watches tend to have slightly below 48 hours, and that's always kind of irked me, because it's not a perfect 2 days or above. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense if it's below 48 hours by like 3 hours. Tons have like 45-hour power reserves. That doesn't make sense to me. But 50 hours, perfect. You're above 48 by a little bit. That's wonderful. They did an excellent job with this. So let's actually move on to a wrist shot here. And speaking of the clasp, this watch's clasp was also made of titanium like the rest of the case, but it actually has a little micro adjust tool, and you can see you have a little button here, and when you push that in, it looks kind of like a screw. The other side will become green on the other side of that button there, and this lets you adjust the deploying clasp, and it's a really useful feature. I mean, if it's just not, I mean, your wrist changes different size during the day depending on how hot you are or anything like that, so it's very useful. So I'll put this on here. It's very easy to put on and to take off. I mean, the clasp, it's extremely light, which is really nice. Deploying clasps tend to be very, in my opinion, from some brands tend to be more difficult to take off than others, but they did an excellent job with this one. It's really easy it's very secure too. It's really easy to put on and take off. But, alright, so I'll take that off and we'll kind of end the video here with a look at the movement. So as you can see, the back of the movement is finished impeccably, very similar to a Patek Philippe, and this watch is sort of in that range of watches, but I mean, it's just fantastically made. I mean, it's obviously not a Patek Philippe, but Parmigiani Fleurier has actually done work for Patek Philippe in the past, so that's just an interesting little factoid there. So, in conclusion, if you like this video, please remember to subscribe and share. And remember, we're at Wixon Jewelers in Minneapolis, Minnesota, an authorized retailer of Parmigiani Fleurier. And also, I'll leave links in the description to this watch if you want to learn more about it or the cars that inspired it. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel.